People of the YouTube, it's a spooky ghost today. It's a spook. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's just multiplier. Arms and legs. Even got a body. Ghost and bodies. Today, I'm going to tell you the most important part about mixing a track, or a song, or a tune, a mega banger, whatever you're making. This will apply to you. Let me write down the components. Right, so, stop. Ow, my knees and the email. Dynamics. Stereo. Image. Right, it's pretty good, isn't it? Next, what else is important? Loudness. Mono. Mono. It's close enough. Compression. Arms tied already. Separation. Right. Sit down here. You're gonna sit down. That's okay, right. Dynamics, stereo image, loudness, mono compatibility, compression, separation, sound, select, cleanness of sound, EQ, tonal balance, because really EQ's to sort out your tonal balance. So tonal bow dot, short for balance. Right. Ow! Floor! What's wrong with the floor? It's all point. I'm on the whiteboard bit. Right. Lying down. This is not good. It's worked out much better in my head. Saturation. And then how full your mix is. So how that corresponds to fullness. Right. And lots more, because there's times 99, because there's probably 99 other, probably not 99 other ones, but lots more things. Right. Ow. I'm exhausted. After that. I'll put this pen down, probably save energy. We'll just drop it, it's fine as well. Dynamics, stereo image, loudness, mono compatibility, compression, separation, sound selection, cleanness of sound, EQ, tonal balance, saturation, fullness, plus probably 99 more. These are the components of the mix. These are some of the components of a mix. Green, important. Red, not very important. Then orange, medium importance. So I can use these colours to properly take this information, take this framework, the component, the structure of mixing a track, and then break it down and tell you what's the most important. So the most important part of mixing is none of these. None of them at all. None of these. Not one. None of this is important. It's not the most important part. None of this really matters. They're all things you should probably know, but it's not the most important part. Multiplier, what are you on about? Why are you writing all this down? What are you on about? Dynamics is obviously important, and compression and mono compatibility. Why have you written all these down if they're not the most important? What are you doing, you maniac? What are you on about? This is obviously important. One of these must be the most important, or at least maybe a combination of two. None of these are ever the reason anyone will ever, in the history of the universe, ever like your track. No one's ever going to say, "Oh, bro, the dynamics on that track were sweet." Not going to say that. I'll give you another example. How many times have you been at a rave, a party, a festival, a club night, a gig, whatever sort of dance, nighttime, funtivity environment you like to go to, partake in? How many times have you been grooving out, and then someone walks, a little man, or a normal sized man, a man walks over, or a woman, somebody walks over, some human being walks over, probably human, walks over and says, "Oh man, this DJ's amazing. That last tune, that mono compatibility, man. Oh, that mono compatibility was so good." Never happens. Example 2, you're meeting a lady, you're wooing a woman via the internet or in person. So you're trying to impress her with your knowledge of the dubsteps, or the traps, or the tech houses, or the deep houses, any kind of house, garage, garage, just some sort of music you like. How many times have you been trying to impress a lady or a man, and then you're like, you must listen to this tune, you must listen to this tune, it is so good. I've just been obsessed with this guy recently, and his tracks, the compression is just amazing. Or, I don't know, maybe that is how you have tried to woo women before. It doesn't work, I've tried it. Don't try to impress ladies with multi-band compression. It doesn't work. And so you're probably thinking, right about now, multiplier, multiplier, multiplier. If none of these are important, then what is the most important part about mixing a track? And the answer depends on the track, obviously. Basically, there will be a reason why you love the track. There will be a reason why someone else will love your track. It could be the rhythm, it could be the groove, it could be the energy, it could be a crazy sound, genuinely. It could be the entertainment value. I mean, look at what High Rankin used to do and Borgore. It could be other things, such as emotion, melody, or a funny sound. Again, you can have two funny sounds. You can have two funny sounds. Aggression, vibe, atmosphere, all of these sorts of words. These will be the reasons why people like your track. Boing. Maybe the most interesting part of your track is a boing noise. Seriously, I mean, if you've listened to a load of music, there'll be some tracks that you just go, oh, that noise is so cool. I mean, just look at lots of Crookers, the entertainment and just the funny noise in lots of their tracks are amazing, and that's why I love some of those tracks. Or emotion, maybe a certain track makes you feel something because of the chordy bits and the piano and the layering and the melodies and the harmonies and the musical bits. Maybe it's just some sort of crazy techno banger that goes or something. I don't know. There's lots of you know why you like music. If you haven't thought about it, think about it. That's the most important part here. You need to understand why you like a certain track. You need to understand what makes your track that you're making interesting or exciting, or basically why will someone like your track. If you can't think of any reason why someone will like your track, start there. Sometimes you just want to bounce along, and that by itself, the fact the track just makes you want to have a little bounce, absolutely a reason why someone will love your track, because it just makes you want to bounce up and down, bounce up and down, bounce up and down, bounce up and... Think about it. Think about your favourite tracks. Think about your favourite tracks. This isn't any of the reasons why you love your favourite tracks. And if it is, you've gotten way too lost in the world of production, and you need to separate yourself from production and remind yourself why you like music, and listen to things, at least some of the time, in the context of just general listening. Haven't even crossed these out yet. None of these are... No. Stupid. Missed. Stupid. Not stupid. You can still read these when I reference them in a sec. So. Nailed it. What you need to do is use these tools, EQ, monocompatibility, saturation, cleanness of sounds, dynamics and so on. You need to use these tools to enhance the main point of your track, the main source of interest. Energy, groove, bounce, or emotion, the journey, a cool sound. And you use these to emphasize the important bit. For example, let's say the most important part about your track is the rhythm. You're making a tech house groovy sort of track, or a house track, or a techno track, where it's all about that cool little groove, that cool little groovy, rhythmy sort of shuffly thing you have going on, and that's the most important part. You can use, say, monocompatibility to make sure that the groove and the rhythm comes through when played back through club speaker systems. So you have to make sure the bass line and the kick and so on worked played back through a big mono system. Also, cleanness of sounds. If it's all about the groove and all about the rhythm, or no, let's choose a different example. Compression. If it's all about the groove and the rhythm and just the whole little shuffly, dancey vibe, then you don't need a really compressed track. You don't need a really loud track, because that's just not important. If you're grooving along, it's the honeys. It's the bros, the bros and the honeys. If you're grooving along, where's it gone? Doesn't matter how loud it is. Doesn't matter how compressed it is. It's just not important. Whereas in dubstep, where it's all like, I am so angry, danger, then you want it to be loud. So you can focus on loudness. And you want a compressed sound, so it sounds very raw and one-dimensional. So it's just it's a very sort of upfront and in-your-face effect. You don't want separation, whereas you would want separation in that sort of rhythmic-y, groovy, tech housey one. In dubstep, separation doesn't really matter most of the time. I mean, some of these are actually kind of contradictory. The idea of dynamics and loudness and compression are completely opposite. And also, you could argue separation is opposite to a compressed sort of homogeneous sort of sound. So, they're all crossed out now. Well, I wonder if this will make it clearer. Wait. So they are good, but also bad as main focuses, and then put that back, and then but also sometimes important. Is that clearer? No, it's not. It's less clear now. So basically, whenever you use any of these tools, such as EQ, saturation, mono-y things, stereo imaging, and levels, you don't write levels on it. Levels, and then of course it should also be crossed out so it looks like I did it originally. So all of these standard tools and techniques and ideas that you probably spend a lot of time working on, which is good, you need to make sure that whenever you use any of them for any reason at all, I'm talking anything from changing the level of a track through to doing really fiddly sort of technical things that you know about, such as saturation, EQ, compression, stereo imaging, dynamics, transient shaping, and so on. You need to make sure that whenever you do any of this, anything at all, from the simplest things to the most complicated of technical things, it's all to reinforce the main spirit of the track, the main reason why that track is important. There's no such thing as a standard amount of compression for a track. There's no such thing as a standard amount of mono compatibility or a standard loudness. Let's break it down. I'm going to stand here. Further knowledge, you may think that maybe for dubstep, which is a very, very loud genre, the loudness is an important mixing component, maybe more important than dynamics. You could be like dubstep, dub, green for good loudness, whereas dubstep could be, you might think that loudness is important for dubstep and that dynamics isn't important for dubstep, so you could be like dubstep red for not important, but really that's completely the wrong way to look at it. Think about what's important for dubstep. Is it impact? Is it aggression? Is it just a sort of punk energy, a sort of screw you everyone, I'm a dubstep punch? That could be the whole point of a dubstep track. In dubstep, there are lots of limiting artifacts where it's basically been limited, compressed or flattened at the mastering stage way too much. So in a sort of approach to mixing and mastering, you could say that's a mistake, but it's not a mistake because in the case of dubstep, the imperfections and the rawness and the one-dimensionalness to the whole mix and master is in the spirit of what's important for that genre, where it is all about that sort of screw you sort of vibe, which I really like. Dubstep was my first love in the music world. Skrillex, in fact, Sonny Moore, who's probably goes up to about here. That's the top of his head. I'm going to draw Sonny Moore, aka Skrillex, in purple. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating here, I'm not. He walked by me once. He kind of brushed my shoulder, but I didn't see him, genuinely, until he was at arm's length, because he walked past me and then I saw the top of his head and I saw his hair and I was like, oh, it's Sonny. So I went to grab his... No, I didn't grab his head. But I could have done. He's really small, so yeah, he's basically... Maybe not quite that small. Maybe his top of his head is there. So if I was to draw Sonny Moore in purple, I would say that's his head. Not the right shape, but the right... It's a circle, but not the right proportions. And then his eyes, nose, mouth. He's smiling. He's doing very well. And then his body extends downwards. Shoulders probably not that low. Made a mistake there. But that's just the general height of Sonny Moore, in case you're wondering. It's looking a bit stupid now, isn't it? I love dubstep, but it's also funny. Maybe I'll just ignore some of the lines. That's not going to make it any clearer. You will think this is very exciting. I've drawn this horribly. This could go horribly wrong as a final finale for the video. So, put that back. So, the most important part about mixing is You ready for this? I can just... The most important part about mixing is... Lost my framing. Not very smooth, not very smooth. The primary source of interest. Which is just a way of saying everything I've said in the last so many minutes anyway. So yeah, focus on the primary source of interest. The emotion, the energy, the groove, the bit of entertaining something in it, the funny sound, the amazing sound. The sound that sounds like it was made by an alien. The sort of general spirit, the vibe, the atmosphere, the emotion, and other things. Just whatever the main thing that gets you excited about the track, focus on that and use the tools on the other side. These, can't read that at all anymore. So use the stuff, if you remember, tools and that, to reinforce this. That's all that counts. And it really, really is. I mean, people will forgive a bad mix if the source of interest is good, but not the other way around. You won't listen to a perfectly created track if it's boring, if it doesn't have any interest or get you excited. So make sure that everything is reinforcing that primary source of interest, and bingo, bango, bongo, you will be good. Good, good, good. Had fun with that whiteboard. That's good, that. So, I'll leave that there. That's cool. It's fine. That's okay. Am I still in the frame? Is my head still slightly kind of... Is that the top of the... No idea, because I moved it around. Had it all set up, and then I moved it. So, yeah, I will catch you guys. It's back. Go for dark blue. Is it still in shot? No idea. I will catch you guys. On the flip, how do you spell flip? No idea. Flippity flip. Flippity flip. Nailed it.